Ever since I started making videos on these AI platforms like Outlier, OneForma, Handshake, and the rest of them that people can participate and make money from, most of the questions I have received is, what is the best proxy to use in accessing this platform? And of course, if you've been following me for quite a while now, you know that VPN is a no-go area. If you try to use VPN to access this platform, your account is going to get banned. So the question becomes, what proxy can I use? And to be honest with you, since I've been receiving those questions, I actually did not have a proxy to recommend. Not until 9Proxy reached out to me, I tested their platform, and so far so good, I could boastfully recommend them to you. I've been able to use 9Proxy to access some of these platforms that are restricted to my region, and it worked well. So in this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how you can set up your 9Proxy account and how you can start using it for this platform. One important thing you need to note again is that proxies are not used for this purpose alone. People use proxies for different reasons. You can use proxies for online scraping. You can use proxies to access websites that are not available in your region, maybe for research, for gathering of information, and for a whole lot of stuff. So in this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how you can set up this your 9Proxy and how you can get on started with it. And not just that alone, because if you open your 9Proxy account, you're going to see two different proxy methods. You're going to see the IP method and you see the GB method. So depending on what you're trying to do on the internet, this method will work for each of them. So I'm going to explain what this basically means, and you're going to understand properly how it works. And of course, you will not get this if you don't watch the end of this video, so make sure to stick around and let's get into it. Now, this is my 9Proxy account on my screen here, and in case you want to access this platform, you can check the description box of this video. I'll have dropped the registration link there where you can pick it and sign it up. So I'm accessing this on my PC right now for the sake of tutorial, but you can also do it from your phone. Either ways it works. The steps are still the same. So once you come on this your screen here, the next thing you want to do is to sign up. Now I'm going to be using Google to sign up because this is the fastest method. What you need to know again is that this 9Proxy is a residential proxy. If you check on the internet space, you realize there are different types of proxy. 9Proxy specifically is a residential proxy. What that basically means is that whenever you're using this 9Proxy to access websites, they give you IPs of real citizens in whatever country you're trying to use it for. So this is not just some randomly generated IP or the ones that they just generated wherever. These are real IPs from real citizens in that country, and this is why people use it for a lot of these platforms and not get banned. Now for you to sign up, like I said, I'm going to be using the Google method, so I'm going to tap on Google now and use my Google to sign up. I'm currently logged in, and this is how the interface looks like. If you're accessing this on your mobile device, it's going to look a little bit different, but all the menus and all of the options that you get will still be the same thing. So on my screen here, if I go to the left part of my screen, you can see something called IP and you can see something called GB. Depending on what you're trying to use this proxy to achieve, either ones is going to work for you. For you to get access to any of these, you have to purchase them. Now for this IP, for situations where you need a more stable connection, this is where the IP plan comes in. So instead of you to pay for the amount of traffic that you're consuming, you're basically choosing from a predefined IP package that is already available on this 9Proxy pricing page. So any IP that is assigned to you is going to remain active for 24 hours before it expires. But when it comes to GB, you are not paying for the IP. You're paying for the amount of network that you use within a speculated time. So for this GB, if you purchase this GB, it means that yes, you'll still be able to achieve the same purpose, but the difference is that your IP keeps changing if you decide to leave it in rotating, or it is going to remain the same for just 2 hours if you decide to set it to static. So if you want to set up this GB, you basically tap on this your GB here. I have 1.93 GB left. Once I come to this page, the next thing I want to do is to click on this get proxy here. Once you tap on the get proxy, it is going to take you to this page. Now, if you look at my screen, I've already created some profiles that I'm using already. But for the sake of this tutorial, let me show you what you need to do. Once you come to this page, you go to this button, add new, tap on the add new. It is going to tell you to create a username and then enter your password. So for this, let me use ToniosTech. Yeah, let me use ToniosTech IP, and then I can decide to create a password. Once you're done, make sure to leave all of these details the way it is. You don't need to change anything here. Then you go ahead and add user. As you can see, it has been created successfully. But one thing you need to take note of is that whenever you're creating one, they are going to assign something at the end. Look at this letter that they assigned at the end. That is not a problem. Leave it the way it is. Now, for you to set this up, I'm going to scroll up. For my country, let's say the website I'm trying to access is in US. We're going to be using US. So I'm going to go to this country or region, and then I'm going to search for US. That is United States. Okay. Let's scroll up and see if I'm going to see it. You can see this is US here. Once you select that, the next thing you want to do is to select the state so that the state is not just going to be random. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this random. Let me use this Alignerr or whatever it is. So this is how the state is going to be. Now I'll scroll up again to the bottom. There is something important you need to do. This rotating IP now, you can decide to leave it like this depending on what you're trying to do. Maybe if you're trying to access website and you really don't want your IP to be static, you have no problem with it changing, you can leave it in rotating. But if I want it to be sticky, I want to use a specific IP, which is recommended for these platforms, because changing of IPs for some platforms will get your account flagged. So I'm going to set it to sticky IP so that it's not going to change. And then for the duration, I'm going to set it to 120, which is currently the maximum. That basically means that I can use this specific IP for just 2 hours. After 2 hours, the IP is going to reset again. So once that is set correctly, you scroll down and these are your details on your screen. These are the details that you're going to be using to access this platform. Now, another thing you need to do again is to get a browser. For this, you could also use your Chrome browser. As you can see, I'm using Chrome here, but you need to install another extension that is going to help you to set up the IP. I'd love to show you in this video, but I will not be doing that because I don't think it's really necessary, and I don't recommend you using Chrome for this type of thing because it can kind of be risky. So what I'm going to recommend is use a browser, and for this video the browser we're going to be using is Dolphin Anty. So this is my 9Proxy and this is my Dolphin application. So what I want to do now is to scroll up, and just in case, this is how it's going to look like on your mobile device if you're doing it on your phone. So you don't need to have a PC for this to be able to set an account on this platform. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my host, then I'll go into this place and paste in the host, copy the port. You go back here and then you paste in the port, copy the login details and paste it in here. Then I'm going to go ahead and copy the password. So what I want to do now is to add my proxy. Now make sure to take note of this my proxy. This last proxy that I just added right now, you can see it is set at US, and then you see the state ST, you see Alignerr, which is what we just set up now. Now it is showing this unknown. So what I want to do is to go ahead and tap on the link. It is going to open up. Then you click on this check connection here, wait for it to load. Once it loads, you can see it now shows that it is active. Once that is done, I go ahead and save it. Once I save it, you're going to see that it is now going to be active. So you can see it is active on my screen here. So the next thing you want to do is to go back to your home page. Once you come to your home page, you want to create a new folder. So let me say test 3, and then I create my folder. Now inside this my test3 folder, you can see there is currently no profile in it. So let me create a new browser profile. Let me go ahead and create a profile. So let me say profile 4. Yeah, just leave it like that, and it's gonna be in the folder test3. Then I scroll up. This is where you get to select your proxies. If you're doing this for the first time, it is going to be set to no proxy, but you can now go ahead and change it to these saved proxies. So it is going to show you your available proxies. Let me click on this change proxy button here, and then you can see these are all the proxies that I currently have. This is the last one that I just added, which is the US Alignerr. So let me go ahead and set it, and then I go ahead and click on my create profile, and as you can see, my profile has been created. Now for us to test this properly, let me go back into my Chrome browser and let me do something. Let me enlarge the screen. Let us type for Outlier. Okay, Outlier, and then it opens up. You can see outlier.ai. Let me click on this to open it up, and let's click on login. Now you can see on my screen here, Outlier registration. Hello, thank you for your interest, blah blah blah. It is not available. This is what you are going to get on a normal day if you're trying to access this. But because I've already installed my Dolphin Anty, let's go into my Dolphin Anty right now. You can see my profile. I'll go ahead and start this. Once I click on start, I wait it to load, and a browser is going to be opened for me. As you can see, the browser has now been opened successfully, and I want to go ahead and type in Outlier once again, wait for it to load up, and this is the page it takes me to. So let's click on this outlier.ai. I'm going to go to the same website once again. So I want to click on this my login once again, and as you can see, this time around it is not telling me that my country is not eligible. All of those error messages that it showed, you can see it is now showing. Although this does not mean that you can now register on Outlier platform. No, because if you still access it from an ineligible country and you sign up on it, they'll ask you to provide your government approved ID. If you provide a government approved ID of a country that is not eligible, it's not going to work. So the purpose of this is basically, if you already have someone that set up an account for you, you can use it. And basically basically that about that, but that is by the way. So you can see this is working correctly. In case you want to check this, you can also go into this browser and go to this website, what is my IP. Once it opens up, you can see this is currently my IP address. When I scroll up, this is my country, United States, and as you can see, region, Illinois, blah, blah, blah. So this is confirmed that this is working successfully. And that is that about that in terms of setting up your proxy using the GB method. Now, in case you want to now use the IP method, which is the one I highly recommend if you're trying to access these platforms. So for you to set this up, the method are pretty the same thing. Just go over to this, your IPs here. Once your IP is opened up, similarly, you go to this proxy to web, click on this create proxy. It is going to take you to this page, and then you can either decide to click on this add new and create, or you can use the one that we just created for the GB. Yes, it is still going to work. So you can see this is the one we just created for the GB. It's still going to work. You just basically have to come here and then set this country to, let me look for United States once again. And then I'm going to scroll up and select for my United States. You come over to this state here, and I can still decide to select another state of my choice. Click it here. Now you can see when it comes to this one, the duration, this one is in 1000. Let me change this to hours so that I know how many hours they're talking about. So I can basically use this IP for 24 hours. You only have the option of using it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, it is going to expire. So once that is done, I basically scroll down. You can see these are the details. I still go to my Dolphin application and do the installation once again. Although there are still some other methods where you can still use your 9Proxy application directly, but for the sake of the length of this video, we are going to be leaving it here. So that is that about that in terms of setting up this your IP. But one thing you need to know again is that all of this will not be possible if you don't purchase either your IP or your GB. So to purchase it is simple. Just go to this your 9Proxy wallet. You're going to see that your balance is probably going to be zero because you're doing it for the first time. So depending on the amount you want to deposit, maybe $10, $100, whatever, you go ahead and click on this your recharge. They have different payments methods. You can decide to use crypto. You can see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and the likes, or you could decide to use your local payment, or you could also decide to use your credit card. So once you've done this successfully, you will now be able to purchase either your IP or your GB on this platform. Simple, swift, and straightforward. I want you to test this out and let me know how it is in the comment section of this video. In case you want to purchase a proxy on this platform, make sure to use my referral link that is going to be in the description box of this video. Anytime you use that my link, or you use this my code ToniosTech, you're going to be getting 5% off anything you purchase. So that is basically that about that in terms of setting up your 9Proxy for whatever purpose you want to use it for. But before I call this video a wrap, 9Proxy is currently running a campaign called Film the Feed. If you participate in this campaign, you can unlock rewards, and because of the huge response they've gotten from the community, they've decided to increase the rewards to up to 99 gigabytes of free traffic. And this is how it works. If you're already using 9Proxy for your real workflow, whether it is web scraping, data collection, automation, research, proxy testing, or any other practical use case at all, just basically record a video showcasing your workflow, the results you're getting from it, then publish the video and tag 9Proxy by using @9Proxy, use the hashtag #9Proxy, #film the feed, and that is basically all there is to it. You stand a chance to qualify. Make sure to hop on it right now because there is currently no time. This campaign is going to be running from the 19th of June to the 3rd of July. So that is basically about that in regards to 9Proxy application. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section of this video. I'll be going through it to respond to you, and probably I might even make a video tailored to the question you asked. I'll see you in my next video.